Oh no, Pippin.
What's up, losers? I watch anime, so I basically know a thing or two about anime, just to be clear. I'm not sure if that was clear. But yeah, I know a thing about anime, so let me show you. Losers? Yeah. Yeah, dude, I can name the main character from, like, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, yuck. Like, bro, I read the freaking mangas. That's how crazy I am in this shit. Cause, like, bro, this is my favorite scene from Chainsaw Man. Hell yeah! And I can't forget about Berserk, you know? Here's my favorite scene from Berserk. Check that out, isn't that cool? It's such a good moment. Bro, the only adult content I jerk it to has to be hentai. Like, I can't deal with that real stuff. It's all about the pictures, baby. The drawn lines, the tentacles. You're missing out if you don't watch that, bro. So, I basically think I have the supreme knowledge on all of anime, dog. Like, the best anime of all time has to be Freezing, you know? Great characters, great story, great animation, great personalities. It's got everything. I freaking love Freezing. Yeah. Anyway, check this out, you little crybaby. I got the freaking Omnitrix, bro. Ain't that crazy? Yo. Yo. Yeah, I bet you're jealous now, little baby ass bitch. Anyway, High School DxD gotta be the best anime, bro. Straight fire. Yeah. Hello, everyone. So I've dedicated almost the past 2 years mostly watching anime and strictly anime, and for the most part I've liked it and I thought it was pretty good, and it actually allowed me to create a more deeper analysis when creating something. Like, I prefer now the material I consume to be more serialized rather than episodic, because growing up I had a lot of shows I would watch that would be episodic, like on Cartoon Network or whatever. But there are some bad things that came with me liking anime. And one of them is that over time I became a little bit of a degenerate myself, which kind of sucks. Because, like, if you were to ask me, oh, Jack, do you like any fictional characters? I'd be like, no, that sounds gay. But now I'm like, hold up. Let me list off my waifus, my anime bitches real quick. You see, I got Makima, Mikasa, and so on and so on, you know? Cause, like, man, dude, these anime bitches got me wild, and these anime waifus got me going. And, you know, I used to not read in public libraries, but now I do, because they just have the mangas there and computers. Actually, it, you know, I don't even use the mangas. I just straight up look at porn on the computers and jerk off there. But, like, you know, that's not related. But I do it with my wiener. It's kind of sad though, because I've even devolved to where I don't want to be a normie, so I try to look for obscure anime to watch, so I can be like, oh yeah, I don't watch the cringy big three that everybody loves, which are overrated. I don't know how, like, I can understand liking some of them, but they're just so basic. They're cool, but not as cool as everybody says. But for the most part, a lot of the animes I consumed have been mastercrafts of pieces of art that I've witnessed. Like, some of it is some of my favorite content of all time, like Hunter x Hunter, Phantom Requiem for a Phantom. That one's amazing as well. Chainsaw Man's great. Attack on Titan. But then we get, like, things that are also horrible. Only a few fit under that category because most of anime is pretty good, but, you know, things like One Piece. One Piece is really ass. Like, don't even get me started on why I despise One Piece. One Piece is actually horrible. But I can understand the growing popularity for anime in the Western world, as it's pretty good. I guess, like, they're throwing the word peak around, you know. I don't know what that means, But yeah, probably. There are some things that are bad as well. The toxicity comes in, especially with Western media. I remember being on the bus in high school and some kids like, who's stronger, Goku or Saitama? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just watch hentai. I don't even watch anime. But now I do watch anime, and Saitama's stronger. I'm not elaborating on that, by the way. But the fan bases can really be toxic, though, and it just kind of can draw you out of it. So the first ring of hell of this anime toxicity is power scaling. So power scaling is this thing where one character is stronger than the other, and that's all it is. Like, it's very basic thing. It's just like, oh, I have more muscle mass or whatever. I feel like it really takes away. It doesn't take clever writing to make a character strong. Somehow the boys managed to make one of the weakest versions, but like, I think that's besides the point. Every other character is just like insanely strong, and it's like, oh, but then as soon as you enter hacks in there, they're like, power beats hacks, which is like dumb, because hacks is supposed to be brain, and brain should most likely overcome the strength, at least eventually, which no, but a lot of the people that don't like to think about it just are like, oh, I sure do love the muscle, so I'm gonna say that takes out infinity or whatever, you know. The second layer of anime hell toxicity is One Piece. One Piece fans suck. They will die on the hill that One Piece is good and better than every show. Their whole thing is that their show is the best. Like, they're not gonna be like, oh, it's my opinion. They're like, no, my show is the best. One Piece's world building is so great because it has 1,000+ episodes, you know? The show's so big. And then also, it's like Dragon Ball, you know? Because Luffy's so strong, he can, like, destroy a continent or something. I don't know. Even though he just has the power of, like, rubber bands. Like, you know, because those don't snap ever. And he can't swim. And, like, most of the world's water. Like, pfft, you know. But, you know, we can brush past that. And then a lot of the characters I consider, like, Family Guy-like characters. Because, they kind of just blend to match the plot, I would say. Like, they jump from being serious to being goofy. Not even that funny, I would say, about all those opinions, so I can't really criticize it for that. But I want to. I just don't like One Piece. I don't know. I like hating. Hating is pretty fun. You should be a hater, too. Okay, enough crapping on One Piece, so I'll get into a more fair thing, I would say, and that's subs and dubs, okay? So, a lot of people say, oh, you should watch the anime sub because it's better. And I can understand that, but there's something about watching a language that you understand that makes it fit better for the most part. Like, if you're watching another language, you just hear them yelling, and you don't know what attributes to what, especially because, I guess, like, kanjis or whatever for Japanese is differently set up than how American English is. And so the impact is on what their words are, and so you don't really get that when you're watching, for instance, the sub. But then understanding it, when they hit like a certain word that's supposed to have meaning and impact, they can really fluctuate that in their voice in a way that you could understand. So I could understand choosing sub if you understand Japanese or if you just like it, but for the most part, I would say that the anime English dub is more for me, but I will say there are a few exceptions because there are actually some anime subs or dubs or whatever that suck. Like, so like, I couldn't stand Luffy's voice in One Piece, you know, because like, One Piece sucks, but like, it sucks even worse with the English dub. And I actually enjoyed it a little bit more when I changed to the or Japanese sub or whatever it's called, but I still didn't like the show, and I only got like 100 episodes in because it sucks. I'm not making it to 800 episodes. That's over half the show. For instance, I would say Azumu Deidao or whatever that show is with Osaka and Chiyo. I don't know how to say it because I'm like dumb. I would much prefer the Japanese to the English because in English they have Osaka have a stupid country accent, and I just hate country accents, you know? Let me just put that out there. I hate country accents. They sound gross and bad. Gross! Ew! I also liked Shiko no Noko Coach Tantan, or My Dear Friend Nokotan's Japanese dub more than the English dub, just because it feels more brain rotty, which is the appeal. It's so much better. There are some anime dubs that are actually even pretty good that I would say that you should maybe try in English. Like, for instance, I think the original Dragon Ball, I love the original Dragon Balls. I love the girl grandma voice for Goku. I don't know what it is. I just like it, okay? Or Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is a great exception. It's a completely different show.
Because you're black!
But yeah, it's just more of a preference thing. I think just choose whatever you think is best for you. One thing that really grinds my gears is the inspiration category, or saying, oh, this anime copied this anime. It's like, bro, you can be petty enough to make anything related to anything and just say, oh, that copied that copied this. It's like, only use it when it's like super blatant. I see a lot of people throw around Bleach. A lot of the shows they compare to Bleach really aren't that similar to Bleach. Like, they use a few like atmosphere or like world building mechanics that Bleach did, like, for instance, a world of so-and-so. But thing is, Bleach was inspired by Yu Yu Hakusho, which I would say Yu Yu Hakusho, or Bleach took more from Yu Yu Hakusho than, for instance, Chainsaw Man took from Bleach. But that's just me, you know? Some people somehow see it different. You know, that's fine. That's fine, you can say what you want, but I'm just putting it out there. You're wrong, I'm right, who cares? Okay, so we got through all this anime stuff I've been yapping about without a structure. So I'm just gonna hop into a few final points, and that is that I don't like anime. Ooh, that's crazy, you know? You like bastard! How could you? And you're probably all like angry and stuff, but like, you know what? Shut up! The reason I say I don't like anime is because anime is just Japanese animation. And I don't like all animes or Japanese animation. I like quite a few of them. Some of them are like probably some of my favorite shows of all time. But, you know, that's like me saying, oh, I love American animation. I don't love American animation. For the most part, I think a lot of American animation is ass. That's just my opinion. And I think I'm right. But, you know, I could be wrong by definition, but I don't think so. Okay, so for all the silly chromies out there, let me just clarify. Avatar: The Last Airbender is not an anime. It's American animation, specifically. It was made in America, so it's not Japanese. It's not an anime. But for instance, like if a stop motion or I think 3D animation was made in Japan, that would still be considered anime, even though it doesn't have that star art style that everybody thinks is anime. But there are a few American pieces of media that are considered anime, and that is Family Guy and Impractical Jokers. I could literally prove that with math and science and all this stuff, but I think it's pretty clear, and if I have to, I'll make a video on it. You know what, while I'm on this hate brigade and just shitting all over anime, I think I might as well just do it even more. Okay, so there are a few things that I don't like in anime, which I'm just going to run through real quick. I don't like flashbacks because, you know, I watched like 100 episodes of the show, and then they'll throw me a 20-minute flashback. It's just a whole episode that I might as well skip, and it's basically filler, and I don't want to do that because I watched the show up to then. Why do they think I'm not confident enough to remember everything? I have a big brain, bro. I'm saying all this stuff. And I just mentioned filler, too, because filler is my next complaint. I hate filler. Well, for the most part. There's some places where filler can be okay, like, if it's just a really exhausting arc, there's a lot of, like, drama going on, and you want one episode of filler, that's fine. But not the amount of filler that Steven Universe has, or the original Dragon Ball Z. That's way too much filler. Another thing is super long shows. A show doesn't need to have 1,000+ episodes or almost 1,000 episodes. I can understand like maybe 200-300. Like I believe Bleach was like almost 400. That's perfectly fine. That is a good amount. No more, please. You should be able to end a show after all that. That's more than enough. I am thankful for all that. But and it's pretty prominent in the shonen category. But you know. Into that now. Okay, so my problem with shonen animes is that I feel that they pull their punches. I know they're for like more child audiences and like supposed to be for like ages of 14 and up, but some of them don't pull their punches, and I enjoy that. I would consider, for instance, Beyblade. Beyblade's fine for not pulling its punches, but a show like One Piece or My Hero Academia, I don't know what the rating for it is in Japan, but in America it's rated TVMA. While, for instance, Hunter x Hunter is rated TV-14, which is a whole age rating below that, and Hunter x Hunter has people getting their heads chopped off. So, you know, I don't want to watch someone explode into blood in My Hero Academia to find out that, oh, they just broke their arm or something, you know, and then they cry about it for a few episodes. Same thing within One Piece. There was an episode where Zoro got his, like, chest slashed open, but then the guy's like, oh, I didn't slash that dude. He's gonna be fine. So you had that whole thing where everybody thought he died, and then he didn't die, so it beats the purpose of that emotional impact. I hate to say I like Game of Thrones because they just like to kill people off, but I guess I do like Game of Thrones. But anyway, let's see. Let's just run it back. Okay. I think anime's toxic. I am a hater of anime. I don't like anime. I am a bad person. I probably, like, harm people for, like, a day job, you know? I give them cancer, you know? Like, what can I do, you know? Like, I have to do something. I'm bored all day, so I have to give them cancer. Let's see. Is there anything I'm missing? Don't forget about the titties. Oh yeah, there's some big ol' anime titties. I forgot about that. High School DxD ain't even the start of it, baby. Okay, so now, I know what I said might be controversial, but you know, it's my opinion. I'm allowed to have that. It's the internet. And in the end, I'm always right. You're always wrong, okay? Let me just get that straight. You could never be right in a million years. Only I can be. I don't like you, but you're supposed to like me, okay? I just had to make that clear. So, yeah, that's the end of the video. I'm just a massive hater. You can be a hater, it's not on me, because I'm sensitive. I got emotions, baby. But, you know, feel free to leave a comment. Actually, here's a recommendation. Can you leave a comment of how big your wiener would be if it was your mom's phone number? So please leave that in the comments.
That asshole, that bastard, thinks he can make fun of anime. You can't make fun of anime. I'll show him. I'll show them all, too. You can't make fun of anime, man, and get away with it. Okay? So, here's what I think. I'm gonna lace his balls with copper wire and fentanyl. And then I'll report him to the feds. That'll show him. I'll show them all. Wait, I can lace his balls with Trank as well. The Trank will get him. I know what Trank will. I can't forget about the Trank. Anyway, I'll show that little bastard that I mean business. Meow.
Don't steal my song. Don't, you know that's wrong. Don't, I'm the one exception. Don't, enamored by my reflection.